one of the biggest ahas of my life, not just trail running, is we did multiple episodes on Atomic Habits, James Clear's Atomic Habits
Love
book.
that book. Yes.
And one of the things that changed my life is the whole thing about identity. Now, Floris, if I was to meet you in a grocery store and you're over in the produce section and I saw you, I'd go, boy, he looks like a runner. If you saw me in the produce section, first of all, you wouldn't find me in the produce section. Well, maybe you would. And you saw me, you would think, boy, that guy probably needs to hit the gym a little bit and maybe try to go out and do a walk around the block a few times. My body is not a runner's body. And for years, even after running Western States, I did not think I was a runner. I didn't picture myself. I didn't identify as a runner. And I felt like an imposter. And maybe this helps some of the people that are listening to this. After reading that book and internalizing that principle, I thought, you know what? I don't need to look like a runner to identify as a runner. I am a runner. And that changed a lot of things in my life because once I identified myself as a runner, what do runners do? They wake up in the morning and they go for a run, or they finish their day and they go for a run. And because they did their daily run, then their identity is reinforced. And it's this circle. And regardless of whether it's a running, if you identify as a good dad or a good mom or a good brother or a good friend or a hard worker, once you identify yourself as that, your actions are going to follow that identity and reinforce the identity. It's just this circle that's just going to make you just a better person.
So well said right there. Yeah, it really is. How you see yourself and the talk you do to yourself as well can really impact like the outcome there. And even Jimmy Dean just mentioned an example of his wife, Kate Martini Freeman, was a 5-hour marathoner who didn't see herself really as becoming a faster runner until she went to the Boston Marathon. And she got excited about seeing it, and she started to identify herself with it and started taking small steps closer and closer again. And eventually, after trying hard, like seeing herself more and more as I'm gonna run the Boston Marathon, she was able to qualify it over enough time. But it was a switch in our mind that ended up needing to happen before her like seeing herself that way. So the other takeaway from James Clear's book to me that stands out is he talks about small habits and making some of these daily tasks really small and achievable. And instead of putting this barrier of like, I have to go run for an hour today, go put yourself a barrier of all I need to do is put on my shoes, put on my outfit, go out the door for 5 minutes and start. Like 5 minutes is all I need to do. Because once you're at that 5-minute point, you feel great. You want to keep going. And you get that continuous momentum, and like that part just start to identify more and more with these small wins over enough time there. So.
Well, I'm just gonna tag along there and say it would seem like, so Scott and I run together, and we run together often and have for a lot of years, and so I can speak to this from just experience. Quite often we thank each other. Hey, thanks for having me out here today. Thanks for being out here today. But when do we say it? Do we say, and I'll ask you, Scott, do we say it at 5 minutes at the end of the race, at the end of the run? Or do we say it 5 minutes into the run? We just start, we're 5 minutes from the car. That's when we deliver the, hey, thanks for getting me out here today. I really am happy to be here. Yeah, we never say it at the end when we've completed it. It's always at the beginning.
Well, it's not, and I will say it's not right at the beginning as we're starting, because I have a lot of thoughts and they're not very good thoughts sometimes at the very beginning of the run. But once you get your heart rate up and your sweat going a little bit, that's when we say, hey, you know what? I wasn't going to run today, and I wasn't really excited to be out here, but because you were out here, thank you for getting me out here.
Yeah, that accountability partner goes a very long way there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that clip with Scott and Don from Trail Runner Nation, make sure to click here to watch the full episode. You can also find the link in the description below, and make sure to subscribe while you're at it.